Hey, so I'm recording this ahead of time, but when this will be up and when you'll be listening to this, last week was my birthday. Right now it's actually not while I'm recording it, but that's the magic of internet or just of pre-recording things. So yeah, last week was my birthday, and the fun fact about me is that I am a twin. So I have a twin sister. And I've heard many times during my life people saying to me, "Oh, you're so lucky to have a twin. I wish I had a sister the same age as me." Or, "How is it like to have a twin? To be a twin?" I don't even know how you're supposed to say be a twin or have a twin. She's my twin. Anyway. And I've always found those questions kind of funny and odd at the same time. Because to me, I wouldn't know how it is to not have one. She's my sister. It's that simple. So yeah, we're the same age. And we share a birthday, so every time we have to celebrate our birthday, we go to our parents' house to celebrate the both of us together with them. And usually we try to celebrate it with friends separately before or after, depending. But aside from sharing a birthday, there's nothing really different, I guess, from having other siblings, right? It's just that we're the same age, so we have experienced more similar things than I have experienced with my older brothers, for instance. But really, other than that, it's not that special. I mean, I don't know. She's like it's like a built-in best friend in a way, but at the same time, when I think about it, I know that if she wasn't my sister, I don't think we would be friends. Because when I look at our life right now, she's like more of an adult than I am, I guess. She has a stable job. She goes to the gym 3 times a week. She has a nice apartment and things like that. So she doesn't really hang out around the same people as I do, and she doesn't go to the same places as I do. So clearly, if she wasn't my sister, I wouldn't know her, I wouldn't be friends with her, because we would never cross paths. But since we are sisters, and since she's in my life, we are pretty close. And sometimes I think about the fact that since we are twins, like we were in my mother's belly at the same time and things like that there's some kind of special connection between us. And sometimes it's weird. It's like I can feel when she's not feeling good. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm thinking that maybe it's just because we're close. But I never really understood people who would say to me that I really want to have a twin. Are you so lucky? Because it's a lot of good things, right? As I said, we're close and we're lucky to get along well and things like that. But at the same time, it is such a complicated way to grow up, because I was never, for a long time, I was never just me. I don't know if that's going to make sense to you, but during primary school and most of middle school and the beginning of high school as well, I was always one part of the twins, So people would call her the twins. So we were just one person. The both of us, we were just like one person. And some of our teachers gave us terrible nicknames. I remember a sports teacher in primary school who would call us M&Ms because both our first names start with M. So she called us M&Ms, which was very dehumanizing in a way. And it's, that time in childhood when you're learning, you're building yourself, you're learning who you are and what you want to be. And my sister and I, we spent all those years not knowing, because it was always the both of us. Never just one. Plus, in the relationship, and I've heard way later that it was a normal thing that usually happens with twins, is that one of the twin is going to be the dominant one. And my sister was the dominant one, so she would, without really meaning to hurt me, but she would just push me down. We would get back home from school, and she would just show what she did at school to my mother, and if I were to show what I did, she would just tell me that what I did wasn't good and hers was better, or things like that. I remember small things also, like my mother coming back from the supermarket, and she had bought 2 pairs of slippers. One was pretty ugly, gray, not fun slippers, and the other one was like a colorful one. I think it was Dragon Ball Z or something on it. And as usual, my sister was the first one to pick, and I didn't have a say on that because she was the dominant one, so she would just push me to the side, whether it was physically or just, with her behavior, I guess, or presence. So she would pick first, always. So for this example, with the slippers, I got to have what was left, which were the ugly gray one. And it was like that for all my childhood. I've always learned to shrink myself because she was the one who wanted to shine, wanted to be heard, be seen. And I guess it really shaped who I am today, which is someone who is always scared to make waves, someone who's rather shy, discreet, someone with terrible anxiety, social anxiety, performance anxiety, because as I was the most silent one, the discreet one, I still had to do good, have good marks at school, good grades, behave properly and all that. And I guess it created what I am today, which is someone who is a little bit of a perfectionist, who wanna succeed in everything on the first try, because if I fail, then I'm no good, because I don't have a very extravagant personality, or I don't know, or because it was my only way to shine at home. But also, for the longest time, I felt like I didn't have really a place at home. It was kind of weird. My sister was the fun one. During her teenage years, she was like the troubled one. She was stealing from stores or doing bad things with her friends, getting in trouble. And I have two big brothers. One was, well, the oldest, so he already has his place ready because he was born first. So the oldest, who already had a job and moved out and all that. The second born, which is my second brother, was really the smart one, the one who went to university, was studying languages, and then he went to study architecture and home design and stuff like that. So he was the smart guy. My sister was the troublemaker, and then there was me. And I didn't really have a spot. I was just there, trying not to make any waves because, well, I noticed that my parents were already really busy with my sister, trying to survive my sister's teenage crisis. And so I was, discreet. Didn't want to burden anyone. And that really stick with me. I'm still like that most of the time. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to burden them. So I don't say when I'm not feeling good. I've learned lately, in the past few years, because of my mental health and all that, I've learned to not bottle things up. I've learned to share more, to ask for help, but it's still not easy. Most time I just keep it to myself because I don't want to worry people. I don't want to bother them. So yeah, having a twin isn't all great, sadly, but it's still good on so many points. But I think people who want to be a twin really just want a close friend more than an actual twin, I think. All this to say that last week was my birthday and I have a twin sister, and that's this week's voice note. It's not a really entertaining subject, but I felt like sharing that. I'll talk to you next week, and I'll try to find something more interesting to talk about. Take care. I love you. Bye.